Hi guys! In today's video, I'm going to be showing you my sketching process. I try to make this process as simple as I possibly can because the more work that I put into a sketch, the more likely it is that I'm going to dislike it and I'm going to scrap it and start again. It is extremely important to remember that a sketch is meant to be imperfect. The sketch is supposed to be the foundation for further work, not a work on its own. It does not need to be perfect. With that being said, let's get started. Okay, so firstly I will go into Pinterest to search for a reference photo. There are so many sites you can use for this, but I personally prefer Pinterest. I change what I type all the time, but today I used reference photo for artists and started my search. I was immediately drawn to a photo on the top row, but I decided to scroll before just coming back to it and using it. Then I go into Procreate and I open a 3000 by 3000 pixel canvas, which is what I usually use. Then I will split screen with Pinterest on the side. After I've set my screen up, I will get ready to start sketching. I personally have recently liked to use a red or orange colour, and I used the Mark 1 brush I downloaded from the artist Dylan Aiello. From here I will start sketching. I start out by drawing a large circle that represents the cranium, which is roughly the top 2/3 of the head. Then I will draw an oval on the side, which designates the flat plane of the side of the human head. I will draw a line down the centre, which, as with many face sketching methods, just shows where the centre of the face sits. From here I draw a tilted cross in the oval, and I use this to help guide where the facial features will sit. The more horizontal line will designate where the eyes will be placed. The more vertical line will be where the jaw connects. The top of the oval is the hairline, the bottom of the oval is the nose line. And then I draw one more line equal distance apart from the other two, and it represents the chin. From here, I will simply start adding in lines to shape the face. This is always different as all references will have a different face shape. I just use the lines I already have to guide me in laying down the lines in the correct places and with better proportions. Once I'm happy with how the facial structure is looking, I will start adding in the facial features. I have a few videos dedicated to drawing and painting individual features on my channel, and more are coming later this month, so be sure to keep an eye out for those. Sometimes I use a grid, but I am trying to get better at freehand sketching. When I do this, I typically use a version of the Loomis method. It is important to remember that to get to a level that you are happy and proud of, you have to consistently practice. I'm not even close to that level yet, but I try my hardest, and I know I will achieve the level of skill I desire through time and effort. Sketching isn't as easy as many like to make out. There is a lot of skill that goes into it. Skills that artists have learned over time and practice to perfect. And this is just one way of getting the job done. This method may not work for you as it does for me. As I said earlier, I sometimes use a grid instead of going in freehand, but it's worth testing and practicing. Also, once I have sketched in the features, I will start going in and sketching in the hair, neck, and shoulders. This is actually my favourite part, so it always excites me. Next, I will lower the opacity of the sketch layer and open a new layer to work on. On this new layer, I will begin building up a more refined sketch that doesn't have all of the guidelines that can be extremely messy and distracting later on. I use the exact same brush in the exact same colour for this second sketch. Not every artist will go in and do a second sketch, but I personally don't like painting when there are lines all over the place. I prefer it to be a simple outline. You can see that I will simply use the first sketch as a guideline to draw the features and outlines. This is why the first sketch doesn't need to be amazing. You can go back over everything to really refine it. Also notice that I don't go in and add a lot of detail. I'm only going to create the general outline so that I can use it as a guide to later add colour and details. Details are not necessary unless I want the sketch itself to be an artwork, which in this case, I do not. Lastly, I like to go in and draw some lines where the darkest shading is. This is just to ensure that I remember where the darkness is and that I follow what I see in the reference photo. This is not necessary, I just personally find it helpful. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more.